not that old.
Yeah, how old is it? What year was it brought in? I don't remember offhand. Was it 2003 or something like that? Anyways, this was right. I had recruiters talking to me when I was in high school.
Right.
A freshman in high school. Back in 1994.
The No Child Left Behind Act of 2001.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, I had recruiters in my schools, in the school I was going to in Maryland, when the school was on the base, actually. Surprisingly not.
Right.
The school I went to was on the base. They had military recruiters come in for that.
I'm just calling that.
I understand. I'm just saying that it's not just. It may just be another level of it.
Yeah.
But the Prussian model has been with us since the beginning, essentially.
Right.
And there's no real difference there. In fact, the reason why we call kindergarten is because in German it translates as a child's garden. It's a place where they can start teaching kids, essentially, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that's necessarily. Once again, I am for education.
Right.
And I don't think anyone here is not for education.
Exactly.
Right? But I'm highly critical of the public school system. And I believe the market could do a lot better, especially considering the fact that if, say, you want to send your son to a school that's far more disciplinary, right, than not, then you can do it with all the money you can possibly give to them, because no one's taking money away to do that kind of stuff, especially considering the fact that they currently, in this state anyways, get the education budget mostly from the property taxes.
Yeah.
Which is going to be accumulated through either tax on the house you own or through the rent you're paying. Right. And when that drops, when that no longer is funded, not only is it won't necessarily do away with property tax, right?
Right.
But it might lower it.
Yeah.
To a point where you don't have to worry about being on food stamps or getting welfare to help you continue.
Right.
And there are a lot of people out there who are on these systems because they have to be, not because they want to be. And,
right. And I'm one of those.
Yes. And quite frankly, this is one of those things. It might be easier simply to get rid of the need than it is to do away with it altogether. Unfortunately, the way things are going, it's probably going to destroy itself before you get a chance to get even the majority of people off it who need off it.
Because and I've been saying this for a long time, you and I both agree on this, is that weaning them off of it would be better than cutting them completely off. Because
I would say I would make me feel better.
Yeah. There's
good principal arguments against that, but it make me feel better.
Yeah.
And that's why I say what I said about it. Unfortunately, that's not the situation. It's going to crash into its own weight.
It is, because as Shanahan said about the shortfall, it is.
That's actually what trying to make the system crash under its own weight is one of the revolutionary strategies presented under Marxist theory.
Actually, it's interesting because Stefan Molyneux, a person who has no problem calling himself an anarchist, say that one of the things you could do, more or less, if you want to destroy a system, is to overload the system. And of course,
all the time.
Of course, the problem with that comes down to the fact that if you're going to overload the system, you have to have a principal argument to do it. Otherwise, and it must be the way you do it too. Otherwise, you're not going to have a situation. The majority of people will not see it as overloading the system, as a way to get rid of the system. They will see it as getting what they believe they deserve. And in some cases, I want them to have the money, even though I don't believe they deserve it, right?
Right.
I'm tired of this conversation. Let's go on to something else, please.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just, at a certain point in time, my mouth goes faster than my brain does.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that hits on.
Okay.
Especially when I'm talking theory, where I can't even go back and look and see what I can say about it in fact, you know?
Right.
So, what else on the list there for the hippie stuff? After the reader.
After reader, we have bounty hunter.
That's a legitimate job.
We have that job now.
It's a legitimate job.
Yeah.
And
Maker of child-sized coffins. Again, something that we have now.
that is unfortunately a legitimate job as well.
In the absence of parental care, pediatric medicine, or child care other than what luck or family inheritance can provide, there will be oodles of little cadavers for the enterprising coffin maker to serve.
And that's something else there, quite frankly. You do not believe that a parent will not go out of their way to take care of the kid. Even the most abusive parent tends to want to make sure that children live to see adulthood.
Yeah, I just find that a ridiculous assertion.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hit places. It's like they talk about the bounty hunter, right? They said something ego to bounty hunter, right? But at the very least, in the open market system of justice, right? The bounty hunter brings the wrong person. Even the system we have right now, the bounty hunter brings the wrong person in. The bounty hunter has to pay for that.
Yeah.
And a bounty hunter, with all those oppressive government police forces out of the way, malefactors can be apprehended in a freer, more appropriate way by mercenary bounty hunters armed to the teeth and unaccountable to any civil authority. Sure, you might end up causing more damage to society than the people you apprehend, but what the hell, this ain't France.
Well, here's the funny about that too is on that idea, right? Who pays the bounty hunter? In a let's say there's no government, right? No. Who would pay the bounty hunter?
The one taking out the bounty.
Yes. And if you bring the wrong person, does the bounty hunter get the money?
No.
Well, I think what they're more talking about is the old westerns where it said wanted dead or alive. Well, okay, the guy you want is in that saloon, so let's just kill everyone in the saloon and take the one corpse back that we want.
Well, that's the thing about that too, though, Adam, is that that's a natural assumption, I guess, right? It didn't happen. You know why it didn't happen?
Because, A, it's wrong, and people are generally decent.
Yes, people are generally good.
By and large, people are by and large
Wasn't that an Anne Frank quote?
B, likelihood of two guys being able to take down an entire saloon full of armed men is pretty small.
Well, I think that, quite frankly, but if you're going to go with that overriding strategy, and by the way, that's the current model of like police and government right now, in general, right? You basically kill every motherfucking thing that moves in the area.
And see, if you walk in there, say, I'm a bounty hunter, I want this guy for this crime, even most of the people in the place, when they hear what the crime was, will either get out of the way, or go, you're going with them.
Oh, you're going with me, so I'm taking you instead. No, but but there's two, quite frankly, is they wouldn't open fire in open saloon anyways, right? Because even if they get the right guy in the first place, right? Then they just killed a bunch of people, or potentially harmed a bunch of people that they now are considered criminals for, and they have one to post for.
Right.
So it's kind of it's a false dichotomy, especially considering the fact there is bounty hunters currently.
Yeah, no, seriously,
Yeah.
what the way they would usually deal with the guy they want is in the front room of the saloon.
Yeah.
They walk in with the wanted poster and say, I want this guy, he's for this crime.
Right.
You're coming with me. And if he started to cause any trouble, because frankly, if you're living in a borderline lawless area, and you find out somebody in this room with you, hell, somebody at the table with you you're playing cards with, is a thief and a cheat, do you want him around you at all?
No.
No.
You want other people around you, people around you who will be like you, who will maybe take advantage of a situation, but aren't going to outright rob you.
Right. People who will pay the restitution when it's necessary, right? Yeah. When it's absolutely necessary, when they do something wrong, basically, right? It's funny too because that is actually far more lawful in our situation is now, honestly. Of course, that's another conversation for another reason. But with bounty hunter, we have bounty hunters now. You know what happens when a private bounty hunter nowadays chooses the wrong guy, gets the wrong guy? He doesn't get paid.
He goes to jail.
He's lucky if he gets to walk out of the police room just being sued by the guy. You know.
We have 5 minutes remaining.
All right, so do you want to just go cut it off now?
Rat catcher / restaurateur.
Both are legitimate reasons. Even though the rat catcher would also cook with the rats. Rats do contain protein, though it's not preferable.
Actually, according to my colonel in RDC, rat isn't half bad. The city rat is terrible, but wild rat isn't half bad.
I'm saying though, it's not preferable.
he was one of the early advisors in Vietnam and lived with the people there.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not the best situation, but continue.
Okay, well, what's the difference between a wild field rat and a wild boar?
Adam, just go next. Go next one.
I actually don't know what the heck this is.
What is it?
Haruspex?
Let's see here.
Haruspex.
Since science education is becoming expensive and totally devoted to refining the luxury of the wealthy few, yeah, right. Everybody else will need some other way to get weather predictions, medical advice, and relationship counseling. Okay, so this is about like. Oh, this is about animals to determine things. It's talking about.
Okay. For some reason they're acting as though if we went to a far more libertarian society, we would forget all of the existent technology that surrounds our daily lives.
And never mind the fact that these rich people would want to have, quote unquote, people working in their factories with some kind of idea of the hell they're doing, right?
Daily Cost, you are a partisan hack organization. You should not consider yourself a news whore.
Or make a difference anyway.
This is an opinion piece there, anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
As an opinion piece, they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
Orphanage director / pimp.
As if that doesn't currently happen anyways.
Right.
Number 2, cemetery / landfill scavenger.
That's actually a very good position to have.
There are landfill scavengers now.
Yes, people make a living off of it.
And faith healer. Those exist now.
Yeah, but the reason why they put the faith healers on there is the same reason why I don't particularly care for it either. Outside the placebo effect, when it actually occurs, yeah.
Actually, it does sometimes occur.
I was saying when it occurs.
3 minutes.
Mom.
Adam, I'm not arguing against it. Placebo effect works sometimes.
Okay. I was 3. Was going through all manner of batteries of tests for my hearing because I'd had a perforated eardrum. Mm-hmm. And Mom took me to church and they prayed over me that I'd be healed. And when they were taking me to the last hearing check to get me fitted for a cochlear implant, or the predecessor to it, my hearing was completely fine. And the doctor got all kinds of bent out of shape, demanding to know what kind of stunt Mom was pulling, trying to get attention. And when she went to the pastor and her counselor, her counselors in the same church, and the pastor, and going, what am I going to do? They're trying to accuse me of fraud. How could this happen? Did you ever think maybe he was healed?
Yeah, I'm not saying the placebo effect doesn't exist, Adam.
Well, how can the placebo effect happen with a 3-year-old who doesn't understand?
Adam, I'm telling you, I can't say it isn't. The placebo effect doesn't occur.
We have 1 minute.
That something there wasn't interesting,
Anyway,
the body will correct itself anyways in many cases.
For gotConsentpodcast, I'm Mark Reinhardt.
I'm Ross Gibbons.
And this is Adam Heyman.
Before we close off, gotConsentPodcast@mail2noble.com is the email address. And we have 5 seconds. Goodbye.
And that's the way it is.
Good show, guys. Good show, guys.
Yeah, that was actually kick-ass.
We did a lot of things there today.
We should do it that much all the time.
Yeah.